στα σύνορα εδώ. Μπαίναν αυτά σύνορα. Δεν
Wir müssen einen Rückzug machen.
This is a free-form scenario where you can play the game at your own pace. Try to capture the barbarian capital or conquer 70% of the map. There'll be hints and reminders to help you as you play. The leadership of your fledgling tribe has fallen on your shoulders. The first task is to unify a new nation under your rule. You're free to build your nation at your own pace. Occasionally, you may receive advice to help keep things moving, but otherwise, it's all up to you. Now that you've studied the first Red military technology, you can build a barracks and begin training troops to protect your nation. Try building a temple in your capital to increase its defenses and expand your borders. First, you'll need to research written word on the yellow science track at the library. Then your citizens will be able to build a temple. If you're running low on resources, you can always build farms to gather food and fill up woodcutters' camps with citizens to gather timber. To generate wealth, use markets and caravans to create trade routes between cities, or research taxation at a temple. Now that you've built a temple, you can research taxation upgrades to increase your wealth. Taxation is tied to the percentage of the map that you control. The more territory you control, the more wealth you will receive. This is a merchant. Use merchants to take... This is a rare resource. Rare resources offer a wide variety of benefits to your nation. By placing the mouse cursor over a resource, you can see what specific bonuses it will provide. To take advantage of this resource, first create a merchant at your market. Then select your merchant and right-click on the rare resource. Building new cities to expand your national borders is key to the survival of your nation. You're ready to begin construction on a new city. Don't forget to put people to work at your new city. You can now support another 5 farms and find new sources of timber nearby. By now, you should be thinking about advancing your nation to the classical age. As long as you've researched enough technologies at the library and you have sufficient food, the classical age will be available to you. Looks like you've hit your commerce cap. That means some of the resources you're gathering are going to waste. Research the green commerce track at the library to increase the amount of resources you can gather. Now that you're in the classical age, new methods of gathering resources are available to you. Remember, build mines to gather metal and universities to generate knowledge. If you don't have a lot of wealth or food, building new cities opens up new trade routes and allows you to build more farms. You haven't built a university yet. Knowledge may be the most valuable resource available to you, so set up a university and start gathering knowledge. This is a general. Keep him near your troops to have them fight more effectively. If he has enough craft, represented by the blue line above him, he can use special abilities like forced march and entrenchment. Read more about these abilities by selecting your general and moving the mouse over the buttons in the lower left panel. An empty university isn't a great source of knowledge. Click a university and click Create Scholars to gather more knowledge. Create at least 4 scholars. You can't support any more people. You'll have to research the red military track at the library to increase your population limit. We currently have 2 cities, but we can expand our nation and collect more wealth if we build more. Build a new city. Place it near the edge of your territory so that you'll expand your borders and control a larger portion of the map. Good job. You've built another city and expanded your territory. Remember to build more caravans to take advantage of the new trade routes that have opened up. By now, your nation should be advanced enough for you to concentrate on building a stronger military force. See if you can build an attack force powerful enough to seize one of your enemy's cities. Train 4 mounted troops at your stables. Build 3 siege weapons at your siege factory. Don't forget to conduct research at your library. Researching new tech, your army is prepared to march into enemy territory and take a city in your nation's name. If your scout has not located any enemy cities, have him hunt around until he finds one. Marching blindly into your enemy's nation is not a good strategy. Danger! The enemy has invaded your territory. You must drive them away as quickly as possible. Don't forget, you can protect your citizens by sounding the alarm bell at your city. Good. Now your citizens are safe unless the enemy takes your city. Excellent work. You've captured an enemy city and have begun assimilating it into your nation. There are a number of paths to victory in Rise of Nations. In this scenario, there are 2 common ways to win. The first way involves having 70% or more of the territory under your control. You can check your current percentage in the bottom right corner of the screen. The second way to win involves capturing the enemy capital. In order to do this, build units at the barracks, stable, and siege factory and attack the enemy capital. It is 60 AD. The Romans have conquered Brighton and collect a harsh tribute. When a queen named Boadicea inherits the leadership of Brighton, the Romans are offended that they must deal with a female ruler. They march into town, flog Boadicea, and proclaim the entire kingdom theirs. Boadicea seethes for revenge, and her rebellious exploits made her a revered heroine. We must remove the Romans from the lands of Brighton. Lead Boadicea back to the city. Good job. We know our next destination is good. Now we can see our next destination on the other side of some unexplored territory. Unexplored territory is represented by dark areas on the map. Moving units through the dark area explores the map. Select the Move button again. Now left-click the flag on the other side of the unexplored area. Good. We're getting closer to home. We need to find Brighton on the map. We can make our search easier by zooming out our view. Now we have a better view to search for Brighton. Brighton is above us and a little to the right. We located Brighton. Our army is waiting to be led into battle. Move Boadicea to the flag outside her village. Use the Move button to direct her again. Good work. You've successfully guided Boadicea back to her village where she has rejoined her army. Now we must find our hated foe. Scroll to the bottom right to find the Roman camp. Excellent, you found the Roman camp. Now let's take a closer look at their defenses. Move the mouse over anything in the game to view help text. Now move your mouse over the Roman barracks. Notice the help text in the lower left. It says this building is used to... Good work, General. Apparently you don't need any help to conquer the Romans. Good luck. Congratulations, you've leveled the Roman camp, but it won't be long before they return with reinforcements. We'd best be ready. The vile Romans have launched a sneak attack against Brighton. We must go to her aid. Congratulations, you fended off the evil Romans. "800 years after Boadicea rebelled against the Romans, Britain is savaged by repeated Viking attacks. Alfred, King of Wessex, has been paying tribute to stave off the raiders. But in 878, the Vikings prepare for conquest. After a defeat, Alfred retreats to rebuild his forces and drive the Vikings away. Alfred suffers a stinging defeat when the Vikings attack Ethandun. The Norsemen loot the town, and Alfred is driven back to his stronghold at Carlisle. Alfred must rebuild his forces and attempt to retake Ethandun. The Vikings now control Ethandun. Before we can rally the nation, we must retake that city. Our first goal is to scout the Viking position and find a route for our attack. We need to keep watch on the Viking preparations and defenses. A lookout is needed as close to the Vikings as possible. This is a good spot for the lookout, close enough to see what's happening, but not so close that they'll notice it and attack. Now we'll learn how to construct new buildings. Citizens construct buildings. To build a lookout, first select this citizen. The actions a selected citizen can perform are found in the lower left panel. Click the select the highlighted Build. Select a location for your lookout by clicking near the target. Good. Now your citizen will move to that site and begin construction. At the beginning of construction, a progress bar appears showing how long it will take to complete the building. Now we can see what's going on near the Viking position. It's time to build an army. To retake Athandon, we'll need troops, so we must build a barracks. The more citizens working on it. Now select the Build Barracks button. Then left-click to place the barracks near the target marker. Success! Now you have a barracks where you can start mustering troops. It's good. With the barracks selected, a menu of units appears in the bottom left corner of the screen. For now, we're interested in the first button, Create Javelineer. Click the Create Javelineer button. Good. You have ordered the barracks to create one Javelineer unit. The progress bar in the bottom right of the screen shows how long it will take to complete the Javelineers. Notice that the Javelineer unit is made up of 3 individuals. All of your foot units consist of 3 figures. We have a barracks to train foot units. Now we need to construct a siege factory to build catapults for the attack. Select your citizens. Now select Build Military in the lower left. Then Build Siege Factory. Excellent. Your citizens are now constructing a siege factory where you can build weapons that heavily damage buildings. Success. Now let's build some siege units. Good. Now, while we wait for the first catapult, we can click the catapult button. Good. Now the second catapult will be built after the first one is completed. Catapult construction takes some time, so let's build some more foot units while we wait. Select your barracks. Good. To create a force large enough for the attack, we need to build 2 more Javelineers, 2 phalanxes, and 3 long bowmen at the barracks. Now you've rallied a great English army. Let's start planning our attack to retake Athandon. We're going to need to look at Athandon again. Instead of scrolling over there, let's learn to use the mini-map to change our view around the world. The mini-map is at the bottom center of the screen. It shows a zoomed-out view of the entire world. If you look at the mini-map, your troops are shown on the left in red, and the Vikings are on the right. Good. We can use the mini-map to quickly scout out areas before we attack. Good. We can use the mini-map to quickly scout out areas before we attack. Now click on the mini-map near Carlisle. Good. We've learned how to change our view of the world quickly by using the mini-map. Now let's get our army ready to attack. Use the left-click drag box to select all your units. Move your troops to attack by right-clicking near Athandon. You can also select a destination using the mini-map. You've defeated all the Viking troops. Now select your units and right-click Athandon to retake the city. You've defeated the Vikings and recaptured Athandon. Excellent work. Almost 500 years after Alfred defeats and absorbs the Vikings, Britain is a true united kingdom. With the death of the French King Charles, the crown of France should legally pass to the King of England. The French, understandably upset about this turn of events, dig up an obscure law that denies the English claim. The English decide to seize their holdings in France by force. The French resist. We are to attack the French city of Compiègne. Unfortunately, the French have discovered our intent and have rallied an army of arquebusiers, a new type of foot troop that uses gunpowder. Our army is well trained, but is outnumbered by the French troops. There is no way we can defeat them if we immediately attack the city. In their hasty preparations to defend Compiègne, the French have left the city of Amiens undefended. We should attack and capture Amiens immediately. We can gather resources there to build our army, then defeat the French at Compiègne. This is your army. Their numbers may be few, but they should be able to take Amiens easily. Select your entire army using a... Now attack by right-clicking Amiens. You have selected some but not all of your military units. Use a left-click drag box to select all of them. When attacking cities or other buildings, it's useful to bring along siege units like trebuchets. They specialize in damaging buildings from a distance. Good job. Amiens is now under British rule. Select the city of Amiens. While Amiens now belongs to Britain, it has to be assimilated before it is completely integrated into our nation. The display in the bottom left shows how long until Amiens is completely under our control. When you capture a city, you gain ownership of any non-military buildings near the city, but you will not be able to use them until assimilation is complete. Notice the library has changed from blue to red, indicating it is now under British control. Military buildings like the barracks and stable remain under French control, but are easier to destroy because they are stranded in your territory. The French barracks and stables are of no... There were arquebusiers garrisoned in the French barracks. Select your units and right-click the French troops to attack. Congratulations, you defeated the French attempt to reclaim Amiens. Now continue to attack the remaining French military buildings. Good. We've destroyed all the French troops and buildings around Amiens. We can focus on repairing the city and gathering resources. A few enlightened French citizens have become sympathetic to our cause and have volunteered to aid our rightful claim to the French throne. They have agreed to help us rebuild Amiens to its former glory. Good. While the citizens are repairing Amiens, let's discuss how we can gather resources to build more troops and buildings. Our resources are displayed in the upper left part of the screen. From top to bottom, they are food, timber, metal, wealth, and knowledge. The number on the left shows how much of a resource you have. You have approximately 300 food. The number on the right shows our income level of each resource. Right now, we have very little food income. To get food, we must direct our citizens to build farms. Now let's increase our timber income. Timber comes from the woodcutters' camp, also built by citizens. Select an idle citizen and build a woodcutters' camp. We completed our woodcutters' camp, and now our timber income has gone from +70 to +80. Unlike the farm, the woodcutters' camp can have a number of citizens assigned to work on it. Select your woodcutters' camp. And we are now gathering more timber. However, the resource readout for timber is flashing yellow. This means that some of the timber we are gathering is going to waste. This is because we are currently at our commerce cap, which represents the rate at which our nation can deal with incoming resources. We must research commerce technology at the library to increase our commerce cap. In the lower left corner, the library shows you all technology research currently available. The red track represents military technology. The blue track represents civics technology. The green, commerce, and the yellow, science. Good. Your commerce cap has been raised and your timber income has increased. Now let's learn about metal. We can start gathering metal by using a citizen to construct a mine. Find an idle citizen and have them start building. Mines can be built next to mountains or cliffs. Like the woodcutters' camp, mines don't need to be near a city, but they do have to be within your national borders. Well done. Each mountain can support one mine. The bigger the mountain, the more citizens can work at that mine. Let's train more citizens at our city and have them start gathering resources. Now notice in the top right corner of the screen that your population indicator is blinking red. To create 2 more citizens, select your city, then click the Create Citizen button twice. The blinking indicates you have reached your current population limit, meaning that your nation cannot support any more citizens or troops. You may increase your population limit through research in the library. Select your library and click on the red military tech. By researching the art of war, your nation will be able to produce more military and civilian units. Now that you have completed researching the art of war, your population cap is increased. You are able to build a larger army. You now have more citizens to gather additional resources. Since you have plenty of timber income, assign your citizens to work at the mine to gather more metal, or build more farms to increase our food income. Remember to left-click to select your citizen. Good. Feel free to build more citizens and assign them to gather more resources. We've started gathering resources. It's time to build up our army to attack Compiègne. The French still have a sizable army of gunpowder troops guarding the city. To defeat them, we'll need to exploit their dependence on their new weaponry. The French have been training only arquebusiers to defend Compiègne, so they lack a diverse set of units to defend against any kind of attack. Heavy cavalry have a decided advantage against gunpowder troops. We could build a large number of knights and press the advantage. Watch out for enemy pikemen who would make quick work of our knights. Let's build 6 knights at the stables to prepare for the attack. To support the knights, we need to build 5 King's Longbowmen at the barracks. King's Longbowmen are unique units for the British and are extremely effective against heavy infantry like pikemen. We also need another trebuchet to assist in attacking Compiègne. Rally points have been set for your barracks, stable, and siege factory, so your newly created troops will gather just below Amiens to prepare for battle. Well done. We've built an army large enough to battle the French. It's often useful to organize your troops by selecting all of a certain type of unit. You can do this by double-clicking the type of unit you want to select. Double-click one of your knights to select all of your... Good job! Using this selection method enables you to give commands to all your knights. This is very useful in combat. Now practice by selecting all your King's Longbowmen using the... Good! Now select all your trebuchets. Excellent. Remember this ability. It can prove to be decisive in battle. We're now ready to attack. Select all your military units and move them near Compiègne. When they get near the city, direct your trebuchets to attack Compiègne and have your knights and archers attack the arquebusiers. Left-clicking the map will clear all selections. To regain control of your army, drag select around them, then right-click to move them. The French have realized their mistake and are marching in a force of elite pikemen to defeat our knights. Our knights are vulnerable to these units and will be routed if we are not careful. Select all your knights by double-clicking them and move them back to Amiens. Once your knights are away, select all your longbowmen and have them attack the pikemen. Our unique unit should make quick work of the pikemen. The French army has been routed. Now that the French army is defeated, have your troops attack Compiègne. Campaign has been reduced. Now you need to direct your foot units to capture the city. You have taken Campaign and defeated the French army. This is a tremendous victory for England. I have a sense that you will do great things. In 1509, following a century of turmoil, England has stabilized under the rule of the legendary King Henry VIII. During his 38-year reign, he will marry 6 times, break with the Catholic Church, and fight several wars. Early in Henry's reign, the King of Scotland invades England. To secure his throne, Henry must master the rapidly changing nature of warfare while effectively running his country. The Scottish, led by King James IV, have invaded northern England and captured a number of strongholds. The English army is marching north to face them, but for the time being, English citizens must fend for themselves. We must defend against the Scottish raids and prevent Winchester from falling under the rule of King James. Protect your citizens or they'll be killed by the Scottish. You don't have any military units nearby and don't have time to train any, so we'll have to sound the alarm, which will bring our citizens to safety within the city. Good job. Citizens near the city will run to the nearest city, fort, or tower for safety. The citizens in hiding will fire arrows at their attackers. The Scots have had enough and are retreating. I think we are safe for a while, so we can send our citizens back to work. Good job. Now your citizens will return to where they worked before you sounded the alarm. The king knows of our situation, and we've been assured that reinforcements are coming. We must continue gathering resources while we wait for protection to arrive. We need to replace the woodcutters' camp that was destroyed in the raid. On the right side of our nation, there is a large forest far from Scottish eyes. Unfortunately, we can't establish a woodcutters' camp there because the forest is beyond our national borders, which is indicated by the red line. A nation cannot build outside its borders, so we will need to extend our borders. One of the best ways to increase your territory is by building new cities. Let's try to build one near the woods. Select one of your citizens. Select the Buildings button. You can see that the Build City option is grayed out. Some buildings require certain technologies before they can be built. If you move the mouse over the Build City button and read the help text, it states that building a city requires researching civics at the library. So let's go to the library and research civics. Excellent work. With each Blue Civics technology you research, you can add an additional city to your nation. Now build a city near the forest on the right side of your nation. Your city is complete and your national borders have been extended. Now most of the forest is within our territory and we can build a woodcutters camp. Build a woodcutters camp near the forest. Try to find a spot where 8 or 9 citizens can work. Our reinforcements have just arrived. We are saved from the Scots. The general claims there is no mistake. This is the entire reinforcement. These Javelineers and a few light cavalry are all the English command could spare to send us. These outdated units won't be much good against the Scottish hordes. We'll need to advance our nation to the gunpowder age or our forces will be crushed by the Scottish army. We need to start gathering knowledge to advance to the gunpowder age. Knowledge is gathered by building universities and filling them up with scholars. So first, select a citizen and build a university. Universities generate some knowledge on their own, but need scholars to be fully effective. Select your university. We have just enough wealth to fill up the university with scholars. Build 7 scholars at the university. When a scholar is complete, they appear within the university. Each scholar in a university adds to your knowledge gathering rate. We filled our university to capacity, and we will gather enough knowledge soon to advance to the gunpowder age. However, we spent all our wealth on scholars. We need to start gathering more wealth to refill our coffers. You gain wealth by establishing trade routes with caravans between your cities. To build caravans, we need to first build a market. Build a market. Good. Now select your market. You can build caravans and merchants at the market. We want to create a caravan. When caravans are created, they're idle for a moment. They then find an available open route between cities and start to establish a trade route. With sufficient commerce research, a trade route can be established between any two cities. We currently have 2 cities, thus we only need 1 caravan to generate wealth from the trade route. If you want to generate more wealth, build more cities and caravans to travel between them. While we're waiting for the caravan to generate more wealth for us, we can start looking at other rare resources on the map. Besides the common resources of food, timber, metal, wealth, and knowledge, there are rare resources that we can also control. This is spice, a rare resource. Move your mouse over the spice for help. The help text says that we get a bonus for caravan income. This will help us generate even more wealth. We need to build a merchant to take advantage of the spice. Good job. Select your merchant and right units can automatically travel across water if you have a dock and 2 commerce technologies researched at your library. We have the needed requirements, so your merchant will pack itself into a boat and move across the water. Your merchant has set up shop and is now gathering spice for your nation. You have established wealth income by making a trade route between cities and received a bonus by sending a merchant to gather the rare resource spice. Good job. While we've been setting up our trade routes to gather wealth, our scholars have generated enough knowledge to upgrade to the gunpowder age. The top row of buttons in the library record your nation's progress through the ages. We're currently in the medieval age. Congratulations! Our nation has advanced from the medieval age to the gunpowder age. Among other advantages, advancing in age allows your units to be upgraded. Also notice that your buildings have changed their appearance to reflect your nation's new status. Select your barracks. The top row of units are ones currently available. Below each unit is its upgrade. Below the elite javelineer is its upgrade, arquebusier. Now let's upgrade our javelineers to modern units before King James attacks. Select the arquebusier upgrade to start researching this new unit type. Note that all of your javelineers are now arquebusiers. Whenever you research a unit upgrade, all of your old units will automatically upgrade to the new type. Our spies report preparations in Leicester to the north. I think King James has grown restless and is ready for battle. Move your entire military near your city of Winchester to prepare for the attack. The Scottish have arrived for the attack. Fight bravely for English honor, and do not let Winchester fall to the Scots. Congratulations, we have defeated the Scottish attack and survived against all odds. The First World War has left Europe decimated and bankrupt. In Germany, domestic upheavals trigger the rise of extreme nationalism, and the German war machine is rebuilt. When it becomes clear that Germany cannot be thwarted by diplomacy, a reluctant Britain declares war along with its ally, France. For the second time in a quarter century, a world war erupts, one that is destined to be more terrible than the first. After years of giving in to German demands, it is clear to England that their policy of appeasement has failed. Germany has invaded Poland and declared war on the free world. England can no longer watch passively while the free countries of Europe are conquered. We must declare war on the Germans and establish an alliance with the French. Click the diplomacy button in the bottom right corner of the screen. This is the diplomacy window. Each of our neighboring nations has a stance icon that represents our relationship with them. We are at peace with all our neighbors, as shown by the dove icon. Click the dove icon next to Germany to declare war on that nation. It cost wealth to start a war. Go ahead and pay the cost. Now we have declared war on the Germans, and the icon is changed from a dove to a sword to represent that. We need to set up an alliance with France. Select Premier Paul Reynaud to open. Good. This is where we can make deals with the French. We want to form an alliance with France. Click on the Ally checkbox with the two hands shaking. After you have set the options you want, you can propose the offer to the other party. Click the Propose button to propose the alliance to France. The French have indicated they need food in return for an alliance. In the top left corner of the window is the interface to offer and demand resources during a negotiation. The buttons on the left will demand 100 resources. The buttons on the right will offer 100 resources. Click 5 times on the Food Offer button to press the Propose button again to submit the... We have successfully negotiated an alliance with the French. Now we must put our agreement into action. Close the diplomacy window. Now we have an alliance with the French. Among other advantages, alliances allow their members to share line of sight. Members of an alliance can move into each other's territory without penalty and can set trade routes between our cities. The German attack on Paris is imminent. The French desperately need our help, so we will send reinforcements. Our troops are in place near Dover for the fight. To increase the effectiveness of our units, we should have a general nearby. Generals are created in fortifications, like the redoubt. Create a general at your redoubt. Generals have a number of special abilities that are useful in combat. They also automatically enhance the fighting ability of nearby units. We are to move our forces across the English Channel and rendezvous with a French armored car near the coast. Select all of your military. You have selected some, but not all of your military. Remember to select your entire fighting force and your general. Now right-click the flag near the French armored car to have your units move across the English Channel. Your army has moved to the rendezvous point. We need to get into position for the German attack. The French force is gathered on the primary road to Paris in an effort to hold back the main assault. The French have requested that we position the English forces to guard Calais on the northern coast. We need to position our troops to defend Calais. Move them to the flag below the city. Your units may be more effective in formation. To set a formation, press and hold the right mouse button and move the mouse in the direction you want your units to face. A line indicates the direction. Move the mouse to position your troops and then release the right mouse button to move your units into that formation. We are now in position to defend Calais. We can use one of the general's special abilities to help our troops fight even better. The general has a number of abilities that he can use. Each of these abilities affect ground units nearby. Select the general's entrench ability. It takes some time for the general to entrench nearby units. Look at the bottom right of the screen and you'll see the progress. Generals use craft to perform their special abilities. The amount of craft is displayed by the blue bar near the general's health bar and in the bottom right corner of the screen. The troops around your general are now entrenched. As long as they don't move, they take less damage in battle. Giving them a move order cancels the entrenchments. The Germans have arrived. The French were not prepared to deal with the German tanks, and their army is getting torn apart. Now the Germans have sent a force to capture Calais. Well fought. We fared better than the French because we were entrenched and had anti-tank weaponry to fend off the German panzers. Although we have beaten off the first German attack, the French have been routed and Paris will soon fall. We must save our army and return to England. We need to quickly retreat to the coast and cross the channel back to England. The general has an ability that can help speed our retreat. Select the forced march ability. The general's forced march ability increases the speed of nearby units. We've made it safely to the coast, but the Germans are sending their forces to destroy us before our escape. Select your entire army and move them back to Dover. The British forces have been saved by cunning and bravery, but our time for bravery has not yet ended. The battle for France has been lost, and the battle for Britain is about to begin. This will be a battle of air power. Germany must be stopped here. The Germans will need to destroy our fortifications along the coast before they can move their ground forces across the channel to attack. To do this, they'll need to establish air superiority over southern England and wipe out our installations with bombers. Our course of action is clear. We need to build air bases and fighter planes to defend against the impending German air attack. To build air bases and airplanes, we will need to start accumulating oil. Oil can be found beginning in the industrial age. To start gathering oil, we need to build oil wells over these oil deposits. Have your citizens build an oil well over each of the 3 oil deposits. Each well supplies oil, but we can generate even more by constructing an enhancement building, the oil refinery. Food, timber, and metal resources each have an enhancement building that increases the production of that resource. Build enhancement buildings when you want to improve your production rate. Build an oil refinery near London to increase our oil production. Good. Now notice that our oil production has substantially increased. We now have enough oil production to start creating air bases and airplanes. The Germans will most likely attack our fortifications near Dover, so we need to set up our air bases so they can easily protect this area. Have your citizens build 2 air bases near Dover. Now that we have some air bases, we can create fighters and bombers. 2 kinds of airplanes can be created at an air base: fighters and bombers. Bombers are effective against buildings. Fighters are best at destroying other air units and ground troops. Since the Germans will send bombers to attack our cities and airfields, we need to create fighters for defense. When created, airplanes remain in the air base until you send them on a mission. The fighter you have created is shown in the bottom right corner and is ready to go. Select the fighter on the right side of the screen. The bottom left panel shows the actions available to the fighter. Left-click near the flat, right-clicking clears the selection. Select Air Mission again and left-click the target to order an air patrol. Watch your fighter as it flies off to patrol the area. Patrolling fighters will fly between their airbase and patrolling point and attack any unit that comes into range. Airplanes have a limited amount of fuel, shown by the blue bar over the fighter's health. When an aircraft's fuel is depleted, they will fly directly back to their home airbase to refuel. After your fighter lands, it will take some time to rearm and refuel from the journey. Then it will head out to patrol again. Some fighter planes from northern England have arrived to help us in our battle against the Germans. These reinforcements will help, but we still need more defenders. Fill both air bases with 10 fighters. The British Royal Air Force is ready for action. All your fighters should patrol near the coast of Dover so we can defend against the German air attack. Select all your fighters in each airbase and give them an air mission to patrol near Dover. Excellent. We are now ready for the German attack. The Germans are here. It's up to our Air Force now. The German air invasion has been stopped. England has been saved. Now we can start a bombing campaign of our own. We need to destroy the German air bases along the coast of France so that Germany won't be able to send any more attacks our way. Build another air base near Dover. Now create 10 Lancaster bombers to prepare for the attack. Good. Now select your Lancaster bombers. One quick way to assign airplanes to perform an air mission is by right-clicking a target. Right-click the airbase to send your... When you select Air Mission and designate a unit or building, planes will fly directly to the target and attack. Excellent work. We have defeated the Germans in the Battle of Britain. The liberation of Europe will be difficult, but I'm sure we will prevail.